seeing is that both of them, having posed as the victim for so long, are really the aggressors.
They have created the stories and the speculation and the questioning about the origin of both children. I wasn't born yesterday, and I know that 2 and 2 make 4. They don't make 22.
Stop everything you're doing and listen to this. On May 6, 2019, Buckingham Palace announced Meghan was in labor at 1 p.m. The entire world waited. Royal fans refreshed Twitter every 5 seconds. News anchors cleared their schedules. But when Archie's birth certificate came out, it showed he was born at 5:26 a.m., making him the first baby in history to be born 7 hours before his mother went into labor.
They have created the stories and the speculation and the questioning about the origin of both children.
Think about that for a second. 7 hours. That's not a typo or a small mistake. That's nearly a full workday. Every royal birth before this followed the same pattern. William and Kate's kids? The media caught everything. Cars arriving, security teams setting up, doctors walking in with their serious faces. When Prince George was born, photographers literally counted contractions based on when Kate's car pulled up. Charlotte and Louis? Same thing. Reporters knew more about Kate's labor than some husbands know about their wives.
If their child and, want the staff to constantly feed them, she doesn't want anything to do with her own children. They are props in this whole PR game that she is playing to make her look like a loving mother. She is nothing to be admired. Her true self is nasty. She's a bully.
But with Archie, nothing. Portland hospital staff went on record saying they never saw Meghan. No royal cars. No security sweep. No doctors rushing around. The most watched woman in Britain somehow gave birth completely invisible. Royal expert Tom Bower spent months investigating this. Called hospitals, checked logs, interviewed staff. His conclusion? Something happened that day, but it wasn't what they told us. And when you realize this birth defied basic physics of time itself, you start questioning everything else about their fairy tale story. The rabbit hole gets deeper from here. If a 7-hour labor gap raised your eyebrows, wait until you see a birth certificate that edits itself. 11 days after Archie arrived, government records quietly swapped out Meghan's real name, Rachel Meghan, for the grand title Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex. In the same stroke, they tacked the word Prince in front of Harry's already loud 5-part name. No press release, no clerk's memo, just a stealth rewrite on the most important document a baby ever gets.
1 point. Archie decided he no longer enjoyed being in the abdominal cavity and was therefore going to do a deep dive between her.
Now, official papers are meant to be stone cold. You spell a middle name wrong, you queue for hours to fix it. Yet here, the mother's entire identity vanished overnight. Why delete Rachel Meghan? Was it a branding move? A privacy play? Or a panic button pressed after someone noticed the first version told a story they didn't like? Alice says the Sussexes ordered the change. The Sussex camp fires back, calling it a royal office blunder. Both sides shrug and slide the file across the table, hoping the other will blink first. Meanwhile, journalists requested the simple paperwork trail: who signed, who stamped, who paid the amendment fee. So far? Crickets. Think about what that missing detail means. In one stroke, Meghan's legal link to her own child got thinner, while Harry's royal tag grew bolder. If the document meant nothing, why risk the fuss? But if it meant everything, a quiet tweak was worth any headline. And remember, Lilibet's papers would pull an even stranger trick, but that's our next stop. Just when you thought one rewritten document was weird enough, Lilibet Diana's paperwork took the puzzle across an ocean and across state lines. California stamps every newborn certificate with 104, its official state code. Lily's form proudly shows 105, a number reserved for Colorado. It's like mailing a letter from Los Angeles, but the postmark shouts Denver. First explanation offered, simple typo. But typos don't survive 3 layers of hospital staff, state clerks, and electronic filing checks. Second excuse, a clerk hit the wrong key, nobody noticed. Yet every other baby born that week carried the correct 104. Only the daughter of the world's most talked about couple got the Rocky Mountain label.
How the whole thing is unraveling.
And yet they don't produce any evidence.
None at all.
Of the claims that they have made against the royal family.
First explanation offered, simple typo. But typos don't survive 3 layers of hospital staff, state clerks, and electronic filing checks. Second excuse, a clerk hit the wrong key, nobody noticed. Yet every other baby born that week carried the correct 104. Only the daughter of the world's most talked about couple got the Rocky Mountain label. Porters rang Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital for answers. Staff quietly said they'd never seen a duchess in their maternity ward that day. No royal security, no paparazzi chase, no sudden lockdown of the VIP suite. That silence matched the missing convoy across the pond 2 years earlier. So journalists took the next step. Why not ask Colorado if any private birth used Meghan Markle's alias or a security-coded name on that very date? State officials clammed up behind privacy laws.
Extremely practical reason for all of these stories. Plus, of course, both Meghan and Harry are.
Here's what makes the code glitch more than a clerical smack-up. It places Lily's legal arrival somewhere she may never have been. California can't prove the birth happened on its soil, and Colorado won't confirm or deny where exactly did the Sussexes welcome baby number 2. A hospital in disguise? A rented home? Or is the real answer still locked inside another sealed file waiting to self-correct? Here's what makes the code glitch more than a clerical smack-up. It places Lily's legal arrival somewhere she may never have been. California can't prove the birth happened on its soil, and Colorado won't confirm or deny where exactly did the Sussexes welcome baby number 2. A hospital in disguise? A rented home? Or is the real answer still locked inside another sealed file waiting to self-correct? Here's where things get spine-chilling. When Queen Elizabeth heard Meghan was expecting, she personally offered the royal household's trusted obstetricians, doctors who've delivered princes and princesses for decades. These are the same medical professionals who guided Kate through 3 textbook births, each one documented with military precision. Meghan's response? Thanks, but no thanks. She wanted her own team.
Whether Meghan had postpartum preeclampsia or just preeclampsia, which would have been prepartum. But whatever it is, I don't believe.
Fair enough, you might think. Privacy matters, personal choice counts. But here's the kicker, those hand-picked doctors have vanished like smoke. Investigative journalist Tom Bauer spent months tracking down the medical team supposedly present at Archie's birth. Phone numbers led to dead ends. Medical licenses couldn't be verified. Hospital colleagues had never heard their names. Portland Hospital staff whispered off-record that no obstetrician they recognized had booked the royal suite. No anesthesiologist logged overtime for a dawn delivery. No pediatrician signed the standard newborn health check. It's like staging a play but forgetting to hire the actors. Pattern repeated in California. Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital employees told Bauer they had zero record of any duchess checking in. No admission forms, no insurance claims, no doctor's signatures on Lily's supposed delivery. Even private hospitals keep mountains of paperwork for liability protection. Here, the files were emptier than a ghost town. Think about it. If you hire invisible doctors to deliver invisible babies at hospitals with no records, what exactly happened in those delivery rooms? And if the medical professionals can't be found, who actually signed off on two of the most important births in recent royal history? Forget missing doctors for a moment. The internet discovered something even stranger. Frame-by-frame footage of Meghan's pregnancy shows a baby bump that seems to follow its own rules of physics. During royal engagements, eagle-eyed viewers caught the bump folding inward when she bent down, bouncing upward during deep squats, and once appearing to slide toward her knees in a now-viral clip.
If she had preeclampsia, there is no way she could have been released from the hospital very quickly. So the whole thing, it goes, I'm sorry, I don't believe a word of...
Lady Colin Campbell, who spent decades around pregnant royals, called the movements impossible for a third trimester abdomen. Real baby bumps don't compress like foam cushions or migrate south during curtsy practice. Online forums exploded with slow-motion breakdowns, medical diagrams, and side-by-side comparisons with Kate's rock-solid bumps throughout her pregnancies. The most jaw-dropping moment came during a royal walkabout when Meghan performed what observers dubbed the impossible squat, dropping into a full crouch while supposedly 8 months pregnant. Obstetricians watching the footage raised eyebrows. That stage, most women struggle to tie their shoes, let alone execute moves that would challenge a yoga instructor. But here's what makes the bump behavior more than internet gossip. It fits the larger pattern. Missing medical teams, vanishing hospital records, self-editing birth certificates, and now physics-defying pregnancy footage. Each piece alone might spark curious chatter. Together, they paint a picture that's harder to dismiss. The Sussex camp never addressed the bump theories directly, choosing instead to focus on privacy complaints. Yet when video evidence raises questions about basic biology, silence starts sounding less like dignity and more like damage control gone wrong. 4 years after Archie's mysterious birth, Meghan suddenly revealed she'd battled life-threatening preeclampsia during her pregnancy. The timing was perfect. Just as birth questions reached fever pitch, a dramatic health crisis emerged to explain any irregularities. But medical experts immediately spotted problems with her story. Preeclampsia demands intensive hospital monitoring, bed rest, and careful observation for days after delivery. Meghan claimed she left the hospital just 2 hours after giving birth, after receiving 2 epidurals, no less. Obstetricians called this timeline medically impossible. No doctor would discharge a preeclampsia patient that quickly, especially not a first-time mother over 35. Lady Colin Campbell didn't buy it for a second. She consulted top gynecologists who confirmed what any medical professional would tell you: preeclampsia patients require extended postpartum care. Condition can trigger seizures, organ failure, even death if mismanaged. Yet Meghan was supposedly home, healthy, and posing for photos within hours. The retroactive diagnosis also raised uncomfortable questions. If preeclampsia was so severe it threatened her life, why didn't Harry mention it in his memoir? Why no medical records released? Why did this life-or-death emergency only surface when birth legitimacy became headline news? Even more suspicious, Meghan's preeclampsia story came with a side of Taco Bell. She claimed they stopped for fast food during labor because she was so hungry. Medical professionals laughed out loud. Women with severe preeclampsia don't crave Mexican food between contractions. They're fighting for their lives in intensive care units. The health scare felt less like a revelation and more like damage control wearing a hospital gown. The moment Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower aired their hospital investigations on live television, something fascinating happened. Instead of laughing off ridiculous conspiracy theories or producing simple medical proof, the Sussex legal machine roared to life. Within hours, defamation threats flew toward anyone repeating the birth questions. Cease and desist letters landed on journalists' desks like confetti. But here's the thing about aggressive legal responses: they often reveal more than silence ever could. If someone accused you of faking your child's birth and you had hospital records, wouldn't you just wave the paperwork and call them crazy? The Sussex approach felt different. Sue first, explain never. Netflix executives started sweating. The streaming giant had invested massive money in the Sussex brand. banking on their authentic family story. But with legitimacy scandals brewing, viewership numbers tanked. The couple's market value, built on being relatable parents who chose love over duty, suddenly faced an existential threat. The birth narratives crumbled, so did their entire commercial appeal. Royal experts noted the irony. Harry and Meghan, who'd spent years demanding transparency from the monarchy, now wielded legal threats to block transparency about their own family. Every lawsuit threat only amplified public curiosity. Streisand effect in full swing. The harder they fought to silence questions, the louder those questions became. Palace, meanwhile, watched from the sidelines with strategic silence. They knew any statement confirming or denying surrogacy could either ignite a constitutional crisis or drag the crown into messy legal battles over medical privacy. Better to let the Sussex lawyers do the talking. 7-hour time gaps, self-editing certificates, a Colorado code on a California form, doctors who can't be found, a bump that bends like rubber, a health crisis that materialized years late, and lawyers who shout louder than any medical file. One quirk might be chance, two could be coincidence, but this many red flags feel less like random error and more like a carefully stitched curtain, drawn tight to hide whatever sits behind it. Archie and Lilibet were delivered exactly as the Sussexes say. A single folder of hospital records could end every rumor in an afternoon. Release the admission logs, the attending physician signatures, the routine newborn checks, and the debate dies on the spot. Instead, we get palace tweets, podcast confessions, and legal firestorms. Everything except the simple paperwork that would silence the skeptics. And that leaves Britain and the world staring at an empty stage where proof should be. Because this isn't only celebrity gossip, it's a thread dangling from the royal succession itself. If the story ever unravels, it won't just dent reputations, it could rewrite the order of who inherits the crown. So the mystery stands, daring anyone to pull harder. Did Meghan truly deliver two royal heirs in total secrecy, or has the public been handed a fairy tale blanketed in NDAs and velvet rope? Until the day concrete evidence steps into the light, every unanswered question will keep echoing through palaces, courtrooms, and living rooms alike, growing louder with each careful silence.